Hello, everyone, and welcome to Academy Live. My name is Russ Thayer. I am the lead digital chef for North America, and this is our first ever live stream here from the Chocolate Academy's North America. Today, we're going to be having a demonstration by Nicolas Dutertre. He's going to be showing you 3 fabulous desserts using one simple technique. So just a few housekeeping notes before we get started. Today, if you have any questions, you can drop those kindly into the comments box, which is located just to the right. And we will be addressing those at the end of the demonstration. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to drop those into the comment box, and we will address those either through the comment box or at the end with Chef Nico. Okay, so again, my name is Russ Thayer. I'm going to be the moderator today. So as you can see, I also have a microphone. So I will be able to answer some questions from time to time while we're going through the demonstration with Chef Nicolas Dutertre. So with that, I'm going to leave it to Chef and enjoy the demo. Chef Nicolas.
Hi, everyone. I'm very happy to be here with you today. Just to explain my demonstration for the first demonstration on Chocolate Academy Live, I prepare for you chocolate recipe, chocolate crémeux recipe, to do 3 different concept desserts with the same crémeux base. Let's start. Let's start with my chocolate recipe base. If you have any question, don't hesitate, but at the end of this presentation. Normally, my presentation during start at now, and during 45-15 minutes, it's finished in 45-15 minutes. Let's start with the chocolate crémeux base. For the chocolate crémeux base, you receive the recipe on the link, of course. My component on my chocolate recipe base, crémeux, it is with, milk and cream, sugar, egg yolk, lactase supérieur, 38% purity range cacao berry, extra bitter Guayaquil purity range cacao berry 2, and gelatin mass. I explain what is it exactly, the gelatin mass, during my presentation, okay? Let's start to cook my crème anglaise. Up. For that, I need a whisk, of course, a pan. I put my liquid milk and cream half and half on my pan. I use 35% cream, fat, and milk. I take 25% whole milk. I bring to a boil my liquid. During my liquid boil, I prepare my base of crème anglaise, egg yolk. I use fresh egg yolk and sugar together. Very important to mix the egg yolk and sugar together very quickly, because if you don't mix very quickly, the egg yolk is possible to burn with the sugar. So very important, when you put the sugar, mix directly. It's not necessary to mix during 5-10 minutes. Just 1-2 minutes. I have a small quantity. It's not necessary to mix during 10 minutes. Just to mix a little bit, to melting my sugar inside my egg yolk, like that. Okay, just to mix a little bit, like that. At the same time, I take a tall recipient to put my chocolate inside, because it's better to take a tall recipient to mix my chocolate crémeux with an emulsion blender. Like that, you remove the air bubble. You remove the air bubble when you mix with the emulsion blender. I put my lactate superior 38% cocoa content, my extra bitter Guayaquil, pistol, and it's possible to put directly the gelatin mass onto my chocolate. What is the gelatin mass? The gelatin mass is a mix with gelatin powder with water. My gelatin is rehydrated. For example, if you have gelatin sheets, always you take your gelatin sheets, you put directly on the water, and you wait to rehydrate correctly your gelatin. Like that, it's not necessary. I prepare my mix before. I put 1 part of gelatin powder and 6 parts of water. Example, 1 gram of gelatin powder mixed with 6 times water, cold water. I mix together, and I wait a few minutes, and my gelatin mass is ready. Yep. Thank you, Rust. Okay, for the gelatin. Normally, it's a current crémeux. I don't put gelatin because you have enough cocoa butter contained in my chocolate to have a nice creamy texture for the inside the crémeux. But for this recipe, I stabilize more my crémeux because with the same base, I repeat, but with the same base, I create a mousse, a chocolate crémeux, and a sauce to do a profiterole, for example. Okay. I show you how to cook my cream. I take my hot liquid. I put 1 part to have a good heat transfer, like that. And after, I remove in my pan, and I cook at 85 degrees. Why I cook at 85 degrees? Because I need to pasteurize my egg yolk inside my pan, my cream. 85 degrees Celsius, of course. In Fahrenheit, Russ? C'est ça. Okay. For me, it's not necessary to put a thermometer because a long time ago I work. I know when my crème anglaise is cooked. And I check the texture, and it's cooked. Small quantity, very fast. I put directly on my tall recipient. And I wait a few minutes to have a very good heat transfer inside my tall recipient. Like that, when you wait a few minutes, you are sure your chocolate is completely melting. The cocoa butter contained inside is melting completely. And with that, with this technique, you have a very smooth and very homogeneous texture on your creamer. I take my emulsion blender and I mix directly. Be careful, it's not a glaze, of course, but it's very important, don't put too much air bubble inside. Very important to let the emulsion blender completely inside your creamer. And I mix. It's possible to use the creamer for different options. It's possible to fill the eclair, it's possible to fill the choux, to pipe something with this one. It's possible to do a lot of things. Like that. Okay. Don't hesitate to scrape the board of your tall recipient just to make sure you don't have chocolate stick around the tall recipient. Like that. Okay. And now, with this crémeux, I put directly in a bowl, and I let set in the fridge during few hours. And very important to cool down the crémeux before use for another things. Okay, like that. I'm finished with my chocolate crémeux. Very, very easy to do. Very, very easy. And after, of course, I prepare another one cold to do another things with that. Okay, I'm continue with my confit because when I do a dessert, it's very important to have a good balance. By balance with the creamy texture, with the fresh texture, and with the crunchy texture. I do with the three different texture, you have the best dessert to do, okay? Today, I present an exotic confit. I know sometimes you use the pectin to do a confit, but today I use pectin inside here. You have a mix with sugar, pectin, and agar-agar. I have gelatin, mashed gelatin, the same thing. And of course, I have my melting puree, mango and passion fruit. Why I show you today my confit? Because when I explained just before, inside you have different things. You have the pectin, agar. Why I put agar? Because with this confit, it's possible to use for two different things. To have, I prepare before. It's the same confit, but mixed with an emulsion bladder when it's cold. And like that, you have a very, very creamy texture of your confit. And with the same confit, I pour this confit on this mold, for example, okay, with a small board. And with that, I prepare that. It's a jellified cube. It's like that, I put agar inside because it's possible to prepare a nice decoration, nice and tasty decoration on cube. It's possible to do a cube with the same confit. I repeat, mixed with an emulsion bladder, very, very creamy. And directly in the mold, it's possible to do a very nice cube to do my decoration at the end, okay? And of course, to put on the paper cone to do my decoration on my plate. Don't hesitate if you have any question at the end of this presentation. If you want to use another puree, of course, it's correct, but be careful when you take another puree to check the acidity, to check the sweetness, because the gelatin and the agar and the pectin react with a different things, different puree, depends the acidity of your puree. Donc very important, if you want to do the same confit with the raspberry, with the strawberry, to do a test before to create your recipe. My confit, my puree, it's hot, but not completely hot. I put directly the pectin, agar, and sugar mixed together. Very, very important things. It's very important. Don't put directly your pectin in your puree. Like that, when you mix with the sugar, you are sure you have a very smooth texture, and the pectin and the agar mix well, okay? But when you put agar and pectin, very important to bring to a boil during 1 minute. Okay, when you boil very, very okay. I repeat, I have a small quantity, 1 minute, it's enough. And at the end, I put my gelatin mass directly on my liquid. Of course, I prepare another one cold. But this one, I put directly in my mold, like that. I use for my another demonstration just after you, in French version. OK? On va mettre là. Okay. Donc, I put directly. I repeat, this mold is to do a very nice cube, jelly cube. Perfect quantity. And I put in a fridge. It's possible to put in a freezer, but be careful because sometime in a freezer, the water inside will move a little bit. Donc be careful. Okay. I remove my induction, and now I prepare to create my first plated dessert. For that, of course, a plate. I prepare some. On the bottom, I prepare some disc, sugar dough, chocolate sugar dough, like that. This one is for my decoration, but I need just after. And my confit. I prepare my confit before in the piping bag. This one, it's a fresh cube of mango. Okay. Like that. For the fresh part on my dessert, I put, you have the recipe, but I put my confit, and directly I put my fresh cube of mango. Like that, you have a texture with the cube, fresh mango cube, and definitely with the confit, you need to stick together the mix. Like that. On va faire voilà. Voilà. The very interesting things with this confit mix is stay like that. It don't resetting. It stay on the creamy texture. Donc very good things to do a small decoration, to do setting together a fresh fruit. Very interesting confit. After that, I take my chocolate crémeux, prepare a few days, no, yesterday. I show you the texture of this crémeux, very, very nice texture. Okay. This one, I don't mix, I put directly the hot crémeux inside my bowl and check the texture. It's very, very shiny, and it's possible to put directly in my piping bag. Like that. It's possible to keep this crémeux in the fridge during 3 days. No problem. But depends if your egg yolk is correctly pasteurized. Okay? But 3 days in the fridge at 4 degrees Celsius, it's correct. My crémeux, it is in my piping bag with a 10 millimeter tips. Okay, it's a bit. Okay. My confit. And I prepare my plated dessert. Here you have the crumble. You have the recipe on my spreadsheet. It's a crumble mixed with a chocolate crystallized and with a feuilletine, a pralin feuilletine. You know this pailleté feuilletine. It's a crunchy texture. And with a chocolate crispers, dark chocolate crispers. Okay. The same thing to bring another texture, a crunchy texture. Let's start to create my first plated dessert. I put 1 point of the chocolate crémeux directly on the middle of my plate, the sugar dough. I stick in the middle, like that. And after, with my piping bag, like that, I do a few points around my sugar dough. Like that. Possible to see the texture of my crémeux. It's very, very shiny and it's very easy to pipe. Okay, it's like that to explain. It's possible to fill on your eclair, but to decorate something with your piping bag. After that, on the middle, I put just a little bit, very, very thin layer of crémeux. I take my mix with the confit and my mango, fresh mango, like that. And my objective today is to explain how to rationalize and to optimize your production. Very important because, you know, with the pandemic situation, it's not easy for everybody. And I give a solution to offer at your customer different dessert, but they will be very, very optimized in the production, into your production. Like that. Okay. I repeat, you have the chocolate crémeux around my sugar dough, the confit with a fresh brunoise, and the crumble, very crunchy crumble, I put on the middle. It brings very good texture and crunchy texture. Always is good and the crunchy texture. And I put my chocolate dark crispers, Calbo brand, on the middle. Not too much. Like that. After that, I take my second part, my second chocolate sugar dough. I put 1 point of crémeux on top, and I spread a thin layer on the top. Why? Just to do my decoration in a few seconds, like that. Very, very thin layer. Why I put a thin layer? It's just to stick my chocolate cocoa, chocolate shade. Okay. Here you have the pistol of extra bitter Guayaquil. I show you the very nice new bag of Purity extra bitter Guayaquil. It's a new range, but the chocolate, it don't change too much. It's very intense flavor of cocoa and very interesting to use for everything. To unwrap the chocolate, to do it's very versatile chocolate. Okay, I repeat, but I put a thin layer of crémeux on top. I take directly the pistol into my bag, and I scrape the shaving. Scrape the shaving on top. It's an easy decoration. It's not necessary to do to take a chocolate crystallize or something like that. The solution, very, very easy. They bring a very nice decoration. Okay, I show you directly here, like that, and you give some relief on top, and just to finish a little bit, I put cocoa powder just a little bit, like that. And a little bit icing sugar, like that. Not too much, just to bring a contrast with your plate. This part I put on top of my dessert, like that. Up, oh, sorry. Okay, okay. I prepare my decoration now because my confit is ready on the paper cone. I put some pont everywhere. Like that. Okay, like that. I put my petit dessert on hold because just before to finish this dessert, I prepare my chocolate mousse. I explain how to do my chocolate mousse. Here you have the chocolate, the cream, whipped cream. And here you have my chocolate crémeux, and you have the recipe on your spread sheet. Very important things. Huh? My crémeux, very important, the temperature it is at 20 degrees. Don't hesitate to read a little bit before to make sure the temperature is at 20 degrees Celsius. Perfect, 20 degrees. I don't know if you know, but 20 degrees is perfect. Okay, like that. And with this base, chocolate crémeux base, I create a chocolate mousse. It's like that. I put a little bit more gelatin before in my recipes, just to make sure the chocolate mousse is enough setting. I take my whipped cream, soft whipped cream, very important things, soft whipped cream, to make sure you have a very nice texture of your mousse, very nice texture, and not to smell the fat inside your cream. Very important to have a very smooth, soft texture. I put one part of my cream directly on my crémeux, like that. And I finish to mix very, very slowly. It's not necessary to mix too much, like that. Of course, it's possible to use this mousse in a silicone mold. To do a petit gâteau with a silicone mold is not a problem. I try. It's a very good mousse to do a petit gâteau. Like that. But I keep one part in the fridge to do a very nice quenelle on top of my plated dessert. But before I prepare another dessert, my verrine. I take my mousse directly in my wrapping bag. Of course, she is fresh, donc she's very liquid. But it's perfect to do my verrine. Like that. To do my verrine, very easy, the same thing. I prepare before my chocolate crémeux directly when I prepare just before. I put directly my chocolate crémeux into my glasses, like that. Okay, not too much. I put 40 grams, but of course, if you have another glass, very important to do a test before to have a good balance with the confit and the mousse, like that. I take the same confit I put in my plated dessert, like that. The advantage when you create glasses, it's possible to take out because it's a new trend. The take out is more popular because due as the COVID pandemic COVID. And very, very easy to do, like that. To bring the crunchy texture, the same thing. I take my crumble enrobed with precursor-like chocolate, like that. At the end, my glasses weight, le poids, 100 grams à peu près. Okay, 100 grams, it's enough. Like that. A few dark crisper chocolate. And for finish, my chocolate mousse. Directly on top of my crumble. Like that. I repeat, it's the same crémeux I use to do my chocolate mousse. Okay, I show you the result. Like that. You have the chocolate crémeux, the mango confit, exotic confit, crumble, and my chocolate mousse. I put in the fridge just to make sure my chocolate mousse is enough setting to finish my verrine. Okay. Here I have another one, but completely cold. My mousse it's cold on top. Okay. My plated dessert, it's ready to put my quenelle on top, but just before finish everything, I prepare my chocolate sauce for my profiterole. I prepare my chocolate sauce now. Here you have, I repeat, the same crémeux base. Okay. With puree, and passion fruit puree and mango puree. And why I prepare that? It's to do my chocolate sauce, for example, to recover a very nice ice. Or today I present you my profiterole. I prepare some profiterole before, just to show you why I use I use this sauce. Okay, you have the crémeux puree. My puree I put 5 minutes, few seconds in the microwave. It's very fast.
So, Chef, while we wait, can you tell us why you chose extra bitter Guayaquil, and can you use another chocolate?
Yes, of course. It's possible to use chocolate, but my recipe is calculated for this chocolate because sometimes if I use another one, for example, the Santo Domingo cacao berry, you have depend the cocoa berry, the cocoa butter content inside your chocolate. Be careful because sometimes it's possible your crémeux is more stronger or less stronger. Donc depends, but of course, every time it's possible to use the same quantity. Don't change too much. Donc of course, it's possible to take another one. Okay, my cream, it's ready. I put directly my puree, hot puree. I mix a little bit. But of course, it's possible to prepare this chocolate sauce before and to put on the freezer. No worries. It keeps a very good texture at the end. Like that.
And Chef, for the other components, is it possible to freeze some of the other components as well, the gelée, for example?
Alors, for the jelly, jelly. Yes, it's possible to freeze, but I repeat because I explained just before. Be careful because sometimes in the freezer, your confit remove a little bit water. So be careful. But honestly, ça marche. It's correct, okay? But not too long. Not 2 months or 3 months. Few days in the freezer, it's not a problem. For the crémeux, the same thing. Be careful because sometimes with the crémeux, you have milk inside. And when you freeze the cream with the milk inside, always you have the water removed. So it's possible to freeze, but it's better to keep in the fridge and to fill your cake every day. And for example, for the éclair, every day. But of course, if you use this crémeux for an insert or to put in a petit gâteau, no problem, because in your insert, no air on around, it freezes correctly. Okay. Like that. Like that, the chocolate sauce is ready. Okay, I'm ready to finish my first plated dessert. Okay. I take my mousse to prepare yesterday. Voilà. This mousse. It's the same mousse I prepare, but it's setting a little bit. I prepare my decoration. Today I used a Mona Lisa decoration. This one, pardon. Okay, it's a very nice decoration to finish your dessert. You have a lot of choice in a Mona Lisa decoration. You have a lot of choice. Me, I take this one today, but of course, it's possible to take another one to create your dessert, okay? Your identity. My verrine is ready to finish too. My chocolate sauce. And I start with my quenelle, chocolate mousse quenelle. I put my water on the microwave. just to bring a very nice decoration. I prepare the same crumble, but I put gold powder, and just to bring a nice decoration, fancy decoration. I prepare mousse, very important things. I like to remove my mousse on the board. It's better with my spoon to do a very nice quenelle. Like that, okay? I remove on the board my mousse just to be sure with my spoon I take a very nice quenelle at the end. A little bit more. It's possible, Russ, to give me the profiterole too? Okay. I hope you are okay. I have a very nice accent. You understand me? Mais... Okay. My waiter, it's enough hot to do a very nice quenelle. Very important things too. Thank you. Here it's my profiterole, doing with a very nice chocolate. And I prepare my quenelle now. Up, like that. I am lucky because I have a very nice spoon to do a very nice quenelle on top. Like that. Just to show you before decorate. The mousse, I repeat, but the mousse I prepare before, is the same. It's the same. The texture is calculated to do it's not very too much sticky. It's a perfect texture to do a very nice quenelle or to pipe something. Very good things. Okay. I finish the decoration on my plated dessert. I take my cube of my jelly, my crumble with the gold powder, and some decoration of Mona Lisa decoration. Up, I take a cube. Very important, always I repeat during my demonstration to remind why do you put inside your dessert. For example, if I have mango inside, it's not necessary to decorate with raspberry, for example. And I prefer to remind why inside what inside my dessert. Okay, like that. And just to bring fancy decoration, like that. And to bring a little bit volume, take the very nice duo chocolato, Mona Lisa. Put one, and a very nice curly chocolate, like that. Marble chocolat, c'est là. Okay. Okay, là, like that. Okay. It's very, very nice decoration. It's not too big. It's perfect, and marble, very, very nice. And I finish on top of my dessert, like that. Okay? Like that. I finish the another one. Now, I finish my verrine. I take the same confit with my mango, the same here. I put on top. What time is it, my friend? And just to finish my verrine, very easy, I take a few crisper dark chocolate on top, like that. It brings a crunchy texture, but it brings a very nice decoration too. Like that. Okay? Just to show you, you have a very nice composant inside, a very nice layer. The second one, and to finish with my chocolate sauce, I make with the chocolate crémeux base. Of course, it's very important to have chocolate sauce a little bit hot to have a contrast with the ice inside my profiterole. I prepare my plate. Like that. I have a small container, very fancy container. That. Up my profiterole. Sorry. I'm here. I take my icing sugar. Plated dessert, I don't know the name, but not straight. Curved plated plate, curved plate. I put 5, maybe 6, like that. Yeah, if you want to show like that. I prepare my decoration just before to serve. Like that. You have chocolate sauce. You have a very nice decoration. It's a shaving decoration. The same thing, I take the same crunchy texture. Like that, it's not necessary to create another texture, to create another recipe. And when you serve at your customer, you depose the plate on the table, you have the sauce, and directly, but maybe it's possible the customer do it herself, like that. A few decoration on top, like that, and a crunchy texture, like that. Very easy to do and very interesting taste, because you have a passion fruit sauce with a chocolate ice inside your choux. It's a perfect texture, perfect taste to eat. Okay? Like that. Now, I'm soon finished. I just present my dessert. I explain what is it inside. Okay? Here, I repeat, you have like that. Okay. You have the confit around. Inside, you have the sugar dough, chocolate sugar dough, with the chocolate crémeux base, and with the same chocolate crémeux base, I do a very nice quenelle on top. Like that, you have 3 different textures. You have a chocolate mousse, chocolate crémeux, and fresh texture, the confit. Okay. For the glasses, the verrine, the same thing. Chocolate crémeux, confit with mango, chocolate crumble, very, very crunchy. Chocolate mousse realized with my chocolate crémeux base, and on top, my confit. I repeat, it's possible to use another confit, depends the seasons, but mango, it's a good season for the mango, for the passion fruit. But of course, it's possible to use raspberry during the summer. It's possible to use blueberry during the summer too. It's possible to change. Keep the same chocolate crémeux base, the same mousse, just change the confit. You have a lot of options.
So, Chef, could we also maybe use pumpkin? I think that was a question.
Of course, soon it's Halloween. Of course, it's possible to use a pumpkin, definitely. To bring a texture, not the fresh, it's not possible to use a fresh pumpkin. Just it's necessary to cook a little bit your pumpkin in the syrup before to mix with your confit. But of course, it's possible to use a pumpkin, definitely. And for finish, with my chocolate sauce, the profiterole, very, very sympathetic, very interesting product. And I repeat, the sauce making with the chocolate crémeux base. Voilà. Okay? I'm finished with you for today. I hope you enjoy my demonstration. I repeat, but it's not just a recipe demonstration. It's more for optimization your production, because here you have 3 different concepts of dessert with the same crémeux base and a very interesting flavor and crunchy texture. It's the best for you. And just for finish, I explain something. I prepare. It's just an example. It's a home box. But to do if you have a possibility to have a takeout in your shop, to-go concept and to-go product, I prepare a box. It's just an idea. And on top, I put a QR code. And with your phone, it's possible to check your QR code. And you have Nicolas Dutertre to explain how to create your perfect dessert at home. It's an option. I think it's a good option because a lot of restaurants are closed and it's not easy every day at the moment. So I think it's a good idea. You put your logo on shop and your QR code with a short explication just how to create your dessert at home. Thank you so much. I'm finished with you. Don't hesitate to follow the Chocolate Academy Live for the next part. It's 21 October with my colleagues in Chicago, Mark Seaman. Don't hesitate to follow up. And if you have any question after a few days, don't hesitate to send me your question. And it's a pleasure for me to
respond. And actually, Chef, we have some questions.
We have some questions. Perfect.
One of the questions was, can you also use sheet gelatin? You mentioned to use powdered gelatin,
yes.
But you can also use sheet gelatin.
Yes.
And if you can explain a little bit, again, the gelatin mass.
Okay. For example, if you use every time the gelatin sheet, the weight is 2 grams. 2 grams dry gelatin. 2 grams gelatin sheets, you need to put 6 times water. 6 times water equal 6 multiplié par 2 is 12 grams water. You understand? 12 grams water plus gelatin sheets equal 14 grams of gelatin mass. For example, if you want to translate the gelatin mass on gelatin sheets, just, for example, you have, I don't know, 21 grams of gelatin mass of my recipe. Just divide by 7. That's it. It's very easy. Why by 7? Because 1 gram powder, 6 times water equal 7 gelatin mass. I repeat, my gelatin, for example, 21 grams my gelatin. Just divide by 7. You have the weight of the gelatin sheets dry. Okay, divide by 7.
Okay, but to answer, you can use either sheets or powder. That's correct.
Sorry?
You can use either sheets or powder to make the mass.
Yes,
either one.
But for me, when I discovered the gelatin powder, it's more practice. Very, very practice, because you prepare a big mass to start your production at the end of the, to start the week, your week, prepare a big mass for the week. Like that, it's not necessary to put, each time when you prepare a recipe, to put your gelatin sheets in a bowl to wait. No, you take directly your gelatin mass and you put directly on a recipe. Very, very easy to use. If you do that, honestly, you keep this technique.
Okay, very good. The next question is, why would we add agar-agar to the confit? Because you already use pectin.
Yes, because after a few tests with the pectin, I have enough, it's possible to create a small cube, but with agar-agar, I'm sure, je m'assure,
I'm not sure.
I am sure you have a very nice texture. I prefer put a little bit agar. You see my recipe, it's a small quantity, but it's enough to have a very nice cube. Because sometimes with just a pectin, it's not enough. I prefer just to make, it's a security to put a little bit agar.
Excellent. Thank you. So the next question is, what is the largest amount of crémeux that you can make in advance without compromising the texture?
What is...
How much crémeux can you make? And the texture will stay the same?
Yes, definitely. If, for example, here you have a small quantity, but multiplié par 10, 20, 30, it's the same. If you respect the recipe and you multiply the recipe by 10, 12, no problem. It's possible to have a big quantity. It's changed nothing, okay?
Are there any other chocolates that you would recommend that work well in these same recipes, so they could have even more desserts with only changing the chocolate? Is there another good example?
Yes, if you want to change the chocolate, but I repeat, but this recipe is calculated with the dark chocolate and milk chocolate. For example, if you want to use just dark chocolate, be careful at the quantity of the dark chocolate. Depends your cocoa content inside the chocolate. Always in the cacao berry bag, you have the fat, 38% minimum fat. Be careful because sometimes you have 42, you have 35, depends your chocolate you use. And sometimes, depends the quantity of cocoa butter, the texture change. Because if you have more cocoa butter content, your mousse is a little bit more strong, okay? But don't change too much, but be careful with that. But if you want to change the chocolate inside, always make a test before, okay? Yes, finish? Magnifique. Thank you so much. It's my first time in English. You understand my accent. I'm very, very good. It's my first time in English, and I'm very happy to launch the new Chocolate Academy Live. And I repeat, follow my colleagues in Chicago and in Montreal for the next few class. Very interesting class. And I hope you are a lot of to follow the Chocolate Academy Live. And see you soon. And good luck for the rest of this year, of the weird year. Good luck, and see you soon. Bye bye. Very happy to see you. Bye bye.